all I can say is thank God for Japan. They keep on cranking out good stuff. They know how to tell stories, all sorts of stories. They can be deep, meaningful, fun, weird, wacky, totally out there, all that and more. And they can go from G to, adult. But wow, it's amazing that they just keep kicking ass towards, pretty much everyone else. And it's great that they do this. And it's no different than Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron. Story about a young boy, Mahito, his mother dies in a fire. They move to the countryside and he finds out his dad is gonna be marrying his mom's younger sister, Natsuko. We find out she's pregnant, and this confuses, and, well, the whole movie has, confusion and stuff, especially through Mahito. While they're there, we get these grannies, which are awesome, all these other characters, and it's nice seeing them. I like their characters, I like who they are. I like Natsuko, damn, I can see why the dad wants to marry her. She is absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, woo, and she even gets to say ara ara. Yes! Love it. While there, we meet a gray heron, and he starts talking to our hero, and then gets very mysterious. We find out this hidden area, this forest, this tower, and the heron talking, bringing up about his mother and how he can bring him to her. She's alive and all that stuff there, and then lying and truths, and then they go on this adventure with all this fantasy, and what's amazing is, because they go to try to find Natsuko, who wanders off, and he worries and wonders and tries to protect, even though he's uncomfortable and doesn't know how to feel towards her and this whole situation. But what's great is, once they go into this other, kind of like this fantasy world, it's like another world, I like how one of the older ladies goes with him, and then she has her younger self there. I love that. That was pretty cool, and it's very fitting. It's basically her, but just, younger, and it works. Great character. And then the heron, you see him transform into this thing, this human person, goblin, whatever, and it's wearing his guts coming out of the mouth is a person of the heron. It's like a costume, a suit, and everything, and they have to work together, and it's got some good messaging, and it's just totally out there. He has to confront traumas, he has to go through loss, and then hopefully in the end realize how important change is and come to terms with this. It's a very touching coming-of-age story with a lot of heavy subjects, and I like how there's the stuff with war, the mother dying, and then all these other characters. You got these parakeets, very creepy how they want to eat people, these cute little critter things, and then coming, going up to fly up to become humans, to be born. Very interesting stuff. The pelicans, the stones, his mysterious uncle controlling this realm, and not too many spoilers, but what I also love too is the animation is just beautifully done. It's fluid. It's very nice. It's as always with these type of anime films. And anime does it best, and I love how they keep doing the traditional 2D stuff, and it just looks beautiful, especially on their big screen adventures. And wow, and I love how the backgrounds are kind of like these nice kind of paintings. There's not as much detail, but it's these light little brush strokes and painting and just beautiful quality. We also find out about Himi, a young girl with the power of fire, and her secret, who she is. Very touching, very sweet stuff. And it's just his embracing of coming to terms with his mother and everything and accepting things. It's very nice. Supposedly, I remember that Miyazaki retired, but then came back again with ideas of stuff. Over the last, I'd say probably 7-8 years, I've been just really diving deep into, I've been a fan of anime probably for most of my life now, since a kid. I was never too big a fan of the Ghibli and the Miyazaki stuff as much as other things, but over these last few years when I'm just diving into more and more and spreading out, I'm really appreciating more and more of these works. Not all of them, but that. And then especially now after the success of Godzilla and everything, it's just nice to keep seeing more anime films from Japan represented and getting out there deserving of their success. And of course, watched it in Japanese. I prefer that. Sometimes I prefer to hear their voices. Their voices are great, even though I think Willem Dafoe does a good job from here on the trailers matching the Heron in voice terms of the Japanese actor. Wonderful stuff there, but it's better with her voice. You're going to miss out on RR and everything. Natsuko's go is definitely Mama. Mama, Milfy, what? Who said that? Anyway, the animation is just so detailed and just wonderful, And I like that it's slow. I've heard people complain about it so slow it's boring. I'm surprised people can sit through these. I mean, I know you can't, everything can't be live action, explosions, boom, stuff like that. I mean, come on, people. I prefer slow things. That's why I like Godzilla Minus One. It was slow and it focused and just dealt with the characters and everything, as does this. Love it. And again, rich, vibrantness of it, and it just enhances everything. He goes through the trauma, the difficulty in this soul-searching journey, and I like how, I don't want to spoil too much here, but him and the Heron butting heads, can't be trustworthy, but then at the end, I don't know. I was happy with that, and happy with how it kind of ended, even though it did kind of just end abruptly. But it was very nicely done, and I've heard that it's loosely based on stuff of Miyazaki and stories, war, family, and stuff like that. I love the characters. I liked all the characters in this. I think they were all very well done, very well fleshed out. If this were made outside of Japan, the men would be portrayed as stupid, the women would be all this, etc., etc. But Japan doesn't do that. They actually know how to, they treat men and women actually equally, and their stories and all that stuff there, and give them great stories. I know some people probably complain about, like, shonen, but then there's other stuff besides the shonen, the fighting shonen stuff there. I mean, you're going to have to go branch out and expand yourself to all sorts of genres and different things that anime can bring, and manga with great storytelling. And this was not the greatest thing, but it got you. It felt really good watching it. I remember seeing, like, hearing other people in the theater kind of like, well, what's going on? I don't understand. I know it's a bit of a confusing movie, but I really like seeing people interpreting certain things too, like the whole thing with Natsuko. And a certain scene with the delivery room stuff, and I like all this, and then what does this mean, what does that mean? I like when films can do that, and then people seem to really be enjoying it, and it just has a magic to it. It's complex, very imaginative, so many layers to it. I was like, wow, it went from one thing to another. Wow, it's just all this stuff about nature and their folklore, all this stuff, love, loss, these two different worlds, like heaven, hell, life, death, all that just really good, and what it does mean to be human. I love the music in it. The music was beautiful, and especially when it gets that, like these deep, kind of spookier parts. And again, the voices, Japan does it best. It's sub over dub any day. Especially nowadays with a lot of the dub actors and how they are, and a lot of people translating stuff on purpose, trying to F up the stuff for the bull crap that they do. Just absolutely beautiful. Just how stuff moved. The clouds, the grass, how the animals were flying through, the little birds and everything. And then just the water going. There was something about it. And it's definitely worth watching. It's art. Really enjoyed it. Glad we finally got to see this. It's definitely a great film. One of my favorites of last year. But I'm glad we finally got to see it a month after last year. But still, so happy to see it. If the creeps at Hollywood, though, got their hands on it, you know it'll be about a girl instead of the boy. It'd be the girl in the Heron. And she'd probably be race swapped too to be more diverse. No, seriously. Look at how they're going after Netflix's Avatar live action series. They were upset it's too Asian? It's not diverse enough? What the heck? It seems like they're very anti it. And there's a lot of good proof, especially towards anime and manga, how much they just hate. And video games. Look at all the people online complain about it. And the Japanese people are getting wind of this, so they're tired of it too. I find it funny also how a lot cry for, I want to go back to 2D animation with Disney and everyone else, and yet Japan does it. But none of the animation people, not many, seem to talk of anime or any anime films. They root for all these other things like Spider-Verse, etc., going for animation categories, but they never talk about any of the Japanese ones. And there's so many good ones, especially over the years. Oh, the last few years alone. I mean, obviously you have Your Name, but my personal favorites, you have Koi no Katachi, A Silent Voice, Makia, beautiful, heart-wrenching movie, Weathering with You, I mean, recently, what was that? Suzume. I mean, and then there's classic old ones, obviously like Akira, and Perfect Blue, you know, which Black Swan ripped off of. All this good stuff there, Fireworks, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, Birthday Wonderland, so many things I've seen year after year, and they're just amazing, beautiful. No one wants to talk about those. Just the Western stuff. And maybe other foreign animated films and stuff, but for some reason they always want to neglect Japan. Very telling. But I can see why Hollywood is worried about it and hates them and snub like Godzilla and all this stuff here, because they are what modern filmmakers and showmakers don't know how to do. They make great films and shows. They know how to create amazing stories with characters that fans and everyone that watches it would feel for. And without this identity stuff, ideologies, and politics bull. Great film. I'd give this one probably an 8.5 out of 10. Almost up to a 9. It was very great. Loved it. The Boy and the Heron. Go check it if you can. Let us know what you think about it. Comment down below. Tell us what your favorite anime, movies, films from Japan have been in the last couple of years. Some I haven't seen, some that we should see. Thanks again for watching. We appreciate it. Go watch this movie. Go support this Godzilla. Japan in general with their great sense of just making great media in general. Again, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time, my friends.